You don't have to be good at drawing to do beautiful nail art. All you need is water slides. What's up, nail crew? It's Nicole, your fellow nail obsessed DIYer. I'm going to teach you today how to apply water slides with gel base and gel top over dip nails. And we're going to do a small one, and then we're going to do a full coverage water slide that's going to cover my entire nail. First, we got to start with our dip mani. If you've watched my channel for a while, you know I'm absolutely obsessed with dip, and we are doing these gorgeous, gorgeous colors from OG Dip Powder today. The four colors that I'm using are all from OG, and the ones on my left hand are called I See You're a Fan of Pink, and then Gumdrops, Soundproof and Delicious. That's the glitter. And the white is just Casper that I like to use from OG. It's like a staple for me that I like to use under my decals. And for stamping too, anytime that I want white to be seen, I typically tend to grab Casper. And then on my right hand, what I'm going to use is Bangarang for the glitter, and then You Broke My Smolder for the purple. So wait and see how gorgeous those are as well. Okay, so I like to start by dipping my solids first. And the reason I do that is because I am a messy dipper. I tend to spill, I tend to drop things, I tend to get glitter and flakes and foils literally all over the place. Like the amount of times I have dumped a jar of glitter or dropped a jar of glitter on my lap is is pretty ridiculous. So I always start with my shimmers and solids to make sure that when I go into my glitter, flakes, or foil nails, that then I don't get that contaminated. I do two dips of the solid or the shimmer and really every color because I have builder gel down on my natural nails, so I don't need to do a lot of dips of the color. I already have my apex built with the builder gel, so all I need to do is actually dip the base color. And then I like to do clear dip powder as my last layer. I do this regardless of the kind of dip I'm using because whenever you're dipping, after you're done with actually applying the powder, you activate. Then once the activator hardens, you buff. So if you don't do clear as your last dip, you can mess up the color. You can mess up the glitter, especially the glitter. You can really mess up, and even your solids and shimmers can end up looking uneven. So unless you're someone who does an absolutely perfect application every single time, which if you do, awesome, good for you, but that is not me. I like to always use clear as my last dip. This way, once I activate it, the clear gets into all the little nooks and crannies of your nail, and then you can buff it and it looks beautifully smooth. And since it's clear, it doesn't affect how your color looks. Now, I say that with a caveat because if you get a really crappy quality clear, it's going to make your dips look cloudy. And you definitely don't want that, right? Like you work so hard to get your nails to look nice. The last thing you want to do is grab a crappy quality clear because there's a lot of clears out there that are very cloudy or at least a little bit cloudy that when you're looking at your nail, you're like, what are those little weird specks? Because you're not using a high quality clear. So that's something that I would highly recommend to anybody who's dipping, especially if you're new or you're just somebody like me who is just a messy dipper and not super particular. Using clear really like saves you when you're buffing to get that beautiful smooth look, that you're not having to worry about like a perfect application because you know your clear will protect your colors, you know, your glitters, your flakes, your foils, all those things. Whenever I'm doing solids or shimmers, I pour those over. And then for glitters, flakes, and foils, I like to lay my nail flat. The reason I lay my nail flat is because if you pour over a glitter, a flake, or a foil, what tends to happen is you don't pick up enough of the color and you end up with like an uneven kind of splotchy look. Now, if that's your jam, that's what you don't, you know, you're going for, you don't really care, then go for it. Like by all means, try pouring over. But to me, for glitters, flakes, and foils, it just doesn't look even. If I'm going to spend the time to do my nails, I want it to look good, right? Like I'm taking all this time, it better look at least as good as I possibly can. So I always pour the glitter, flakes, foils, or whatever it is into these dip cups I have from SJ3 Designs. And then I shake up the dip so that like all the bigger pieces or all the glitter pieces, whatever you're using, they come up to the top. And then when you lay your nail flat into it, you get such a beautiful coverage. That is something I've been doing for a long time. It works really well for me. The thing about that is when you're going to lay your nail flat onto a glitter, a flake, a foil, or even if you decided that you want to do that for a solid dip powder or a shimmer dip powder, the key to keeping it thinner is to apply your dip base thinly. And that's something that I feel like I personally struggled with a lot when I first started. And even now I tend to, like if I'm doing my nails really fast and sloppy, I tend to put more dip base on, not purposely, just because I'm not paying attention. So the goal when you're dipping your nails is always to do a higher number of thin layers than a lower number of thick layers. A lower number of thick layers tends to lead to lifting, chipping, cracking, peeling off, whatever you want to call it, but those are the things that it leads to. Less retention, a much shorter retention time of the dip powder on your nails. If I was dipping directly over my nails, I would have used clear dip powder as my base and built a little bit of an apex with the clear dip powder. Even with short nails, I just like to make sure there's a little bit of an apex there to give it that nice curved look. I do have a natural apex on some of my nails, so when I'm doing my builder gel, it's some of the nails are easier to build it in than others. Some of my nails are much flatter. Also, doing an apex on your nails, especially once they get longer, that is an absolute must. If your nails are really short like this, you can get away without an apex. When your nails are long, you really need an apex. And you're sitting there thinking like, okay, what is an apex? Well, an apex is actually the highest point of your nail enhancement. And what the apex does is it builds strength on your nails. Let's say you don't have anything on your nails and you press down on your nail, wherever like that white spot shows up in the middle-ish of your nail, that's where you want the highest point of your dip to be, of your gel, whatever nail enhancement you're using, that should be the highest point because that's like the stress point of your nail. So as your nails get longer, it might move a little bit, or it might also need to be a little bit higher. So when my nails are longer, I like to focus much more on building an apex, whereas when they're short here, don't really get that very concerned about it. As I'm moving into my right hand, I just want to like give you some little tips about doing your dip nails. So one thing that I really like to make sure that I do before I apply any dips that are fully covering my nail is I like to push my cuticles back. And you see me do that in this video and like any other videos you watch. Any dip that is near my cuticles, I push them back because I feel like it just really makes sure that my surface area, my nail real estate on my nail it has the best, most, the best space possible. And pushing your cuticles back a little bit just helps you that you're not flooding them. You're not like pushing the liquid into there. That at least helps me. Something else that's really going to help you in your basic dip application is when you're applying that dip base thinly, like we talked about earlier, you want to wipe a majority of the dip base off on the inside of the bottle before you even apply it to your nails. That's going to help you keep from flooding, keep from having your nails be too thick. Those are all really, really important things to do when you're dipping your nails. Now, something else that is super important that absolute like must for me is brushing off the excess powder in between each layer. If you don't do that, first of all, your nails are going to be thick. Second of all, you're going to end up contaminating your dip base brush a lot more. And if you're like me and you're messy and you don't have the patience to like worry about contaminated brushes, definitely make sure you're brushing off excess powder in between each layer once that layer is dry. I want to see if you noticed something that I did in the videos. Anytime I did my solids, I made sure that I did my clear and activated that before I moved to my glitter. That's just helping me to keep from contaminating my clear or my solid colors before I jump into my glitter. And then once I do the glitter, I put the clear over it and activate it. And then I did all the buffing, shaping, and smoothing. I did that off camera since I really wanted to focus on how to apply the decals with gels. Now, it's been a while since I applied it with a gel, so I'm a little rusty on my gel application, but that's okay. I'm going to walk you through it. Once you've done all your buffing and shaping, your nails will be super smooth. I'm going to wipe all of your nails off with isopropyl alcohol to make sure all the dust is off from shaping and filing. Then you can cut out your decal. And when you're using a small decal like this, where it's not a full nail one, you want to cut out as much around the shape as you possibly can, because there's no point of keeping all that excess decal. First of all, it's clear. And second of all, it's more that you'd have to work with. I cut it as close to the actual shape of the decal that I'm using. And then when you're using gels, what you want to do is you want to go in, apply the gel to that finger, wipe off any gel that gets on your skin, and then you put your decal in the water once you've cured that nail, once you've cured the gel. Since gel leaves a tacky dispersion layer, gel base does, you can apply your decal right onto there. Now you put your decal in water, typically around 15 to 20 seconds, depending on the brand, and then the decal will slide off off the backing of the paper that it's on, that it's been printed on, and you can go and you just lay it down onto your nail. And when they're these small ones, it's much, much easier. So if you're just starting out, I'd recommend to do the smaller ones because you can use these little silicone nail tools, or you can even use a jelly stamper like I showed, because I actually got tired of smoothing it with the silicone tool. My hands, ever since I pinched a nerve, just have not been working as well as they used to. So I grabbed the jelly stamper and just kind of rolled it over my nail to really make sure that it was nice and squished down, the decal was. You apply gel base over top of that, fully cure that, apply your gel top, fully cure that, and then that nail is done. So you want to make sure you cap your edges with the gel base and the gel top that you've applied over the decal, because that's going to seal it in and keep it from peeling off. Now we're going to do a full nail decal, and those are a little bit trickier. So you still have to clean your nail with isopropyl alcohol. And what I like to do to start out with the full coverage is I cut out the whole decal first. Then I look at my nail and see, okay, like I set it on it, and I kind of like cut around the sides so that it fits a little bit better onto the cuticle area of my nail, because your cuticle area is curved. I don't mess with any of the rest of it. Sometimes I do, but today I was like, the day I was doing my nails, I was like, it's fine. I can just cut it off. So I did my gel base on my entire nail, and I cured that, and I cure it for less than the full time. So like if the gel base says to cure for 60 seconds, I'd probably cure it about 45. If the gel base says 30, I'd probably cure it for like 25. And the reason that I do this is because I want it a little bit extra tacky, so that when I apply it, it really has that nice grippy tackiness left on it. Now, some people do apply it the full amount. So like on my left hand, I applied it the full amount of the 60 seconds. On my right hand, I applied it, I want to say 45 seconds. Once you get the decal wet, slip it off the backing, you lay it on your nail, and you start pressing down. Now you can use a silicone nail tool, you can use a jelly stamper to squish it down, but you want to make sure when you first apply it down onto your nail that you've really got it centered in exactly where you want it to be, because you don't want to have to mess with it a ton, or else you could end up possibly ripping it. Now I did rip this one a little bit because if you've watched any of my other videos, I'm the opposite of gentle. So I just kind of like shoved the decal back to where it was supposed to be, the little part that started to rip off. And I was like, it's fine. I know some people are super particular and they would have redone it, but that's not me. I'm just not particular. And I do my nails way too often to be worried about that. I'm just like, it's fine. I'm only going to have these on for a couple days. Doesn't need to be like absolutely perfect. I'm not a perfectionist. I used to think I was a type A person. I think, a while ago I was, but now I'm like, nah, it's just nails, we're having fun. So once you get that down completely, you've gently smoothed all the wrinkles out, either with your silicone tool or your jelly stamper, then you can go in and finish curing it to like really seal it into place. Because then what you want to do is you want to file around the outside. So the best thing to use is acetone to melt the sides, but I'm allergic to acetone. So what I do is I use a combination of a hand file and a glass file to really make sure the decal looks great over my entire nail. It's nice and, clean on the cuticle area, along the sidewalls, and that all looks good. But acetone is going to be the easiest to melt the sidewalls, and you can cut off the tip like I did, or you can melt it with acetone. Again, if you can use acetone, I would recommend that. And then you can also use some isopropyl alcohol. It just doesn't work quite as fast. So once you've totally got your decal down, you'll again apply gel base over the entire thing, cure that, gel top over the entire thing, and cure that. Everything that I use in this video is going to be linked in the description: the lamps, the gels, all the products, the fun little things from SJ3, and these gorgeous decals from Pretty and Savage. Sometimes I forget to say it, but it's always linked there. And if you are not ready to use gels and you want to learn how to apply decals with just dip liquids, then check out this next video. Thanks so much for joining me today, Nail Crew.